Hi, Marjorie. We're going to have a quick discussion about the global startup landscape. Joining me is Stephan Kuester, a managing partner at Genome. Hello to you, Stephan. First question I just want to ask you, first time at VivaTech, how's it going so far?
First time at VivaTech, first time we are bringing the Global Startup Ecosystem Report to VivaTech. Enormous energy, fantastic, and very topical because Paris is emerging as this AI ecosystem leader in Europe, so we couldn't be in a better space today.
Yeah, and I want to dive into that report. It's very interesting. Usually it reveals cities, trends, strategies shaping the startup ecosystem. This time, though, you've been publishing the report for 13 years, I believe. This time, though, it's the first time you incorporated the strength of AI startup activity. Why was that important?
Yeah, we work with a lot of data, but also with a knowledge network of 180 or so ecosystems. We are obviously picking up trends very early on, and what has become very clear is how native AI startups are disrupting the world of startup ecosystems of tech. For us, in our research, it's important to incorporate the aspect of AI. It's so disruptive, it's going to be so valuable, so important to incorporate it properly into our rankings without losing, and you mentioned it, 13 years of history, comparisons that are possible to policymakers, without disrupting those too much. So we've incorporated a little percentage of native AI as a concept into our rankings as a factor to better reflect what's happening in what quite probably is the most important trend of our time.
And it's always difficult to develop a global picture like this, but if you can give us an idea of what regions or ecosystems are standing out in terms of this AI transformation.
Yeah, so that is one of excitement, disruption, concern. It's almost scary. Data we see from our very early on research is showing a huge focus of native AI startups being created in the US, select places in the US, and definitely in China. And then you have an enormous gap, and that's the rest of the world. That's us here in Europe. That's in Asia. It's elsewhere in the world. We are not participating. We are not seeing it as yet, at least.
Your report reveals unexpected global shifts, and this is sort of redrawing the map. Could you expand on that, please?
Yeah, we believe after computers, transistors in the 60s, the web in the 90s, this is the next really disruptive tech trend. The only difference is going to be much faster. So if I, as an ecosystem, as a city, as a nation state, I'm not participating now, I'm waiting for 5 years to get to grips with what's happening, I will definitely have lost track, I'll lose competitiveness. And for us, of course, when we look at industrial revolutions, they always come with job displacement. And what I just said, we are seeing the creation of native AI startups predominantly in Silicon Valley and parts of the east coast of the US, in China. If that holds true, job displacement will happen all across the world, and new jobs will be created in those named clusters. And that's probably not a world we want as ecosystem developers. We don't want for our economies, right? So something needs to happen.
Yeah, it's all a question of adaptability and how quick we can respond. With the global startup landscape evolving rapidly, how does Genome help policymakers and stakeholders sort of make sense of it all?
Yeah, so you're aware of the report of our research work. We use data statistical concepts to measure what's happening in ecosystems, to peer benchmark, to bring back to policymakers, the public sector governments, and any other ecosystem stakeholder that has a role to play, data-driven objective insights. It's like going to the GP. You get an X-ray from us that tells you the body is strong here, you got some gaps here, in order to have a proper policy response to rally stakeholders, to make it easy for startup entrepreneurs, for innovators to really succeed and take away the barriers they may have, and do that really on a from a data-driven perspective. So replacing gut feeling with sound, statistically proven advice, and policy advice, of course. And then we operate a large knowledge network where we share amongst ourselves policies, experiments that either have worked or failed, but we share them so we all can learn and accelerate the development of good policy. That's our mission.
Yeah, very critical to have this sort of collaborative approach to adapt. Stephan, I want to thank you very much. Stephan Kuester from Genome. Marjorie, that's it. Back to you.
Thank you so much.